The public is worried about seeing men of the police taking selfies with the billionaire kidnapper Evans. Are you comfortable with this trend?
You see, we saw it and we were wondering, you know, this social media, there are some practitioners that can bring anything. It is ridiculous to believe that a serving police officer will take a picture with a kidnapper. But some of the pictures were released to us and we are working on them to see whether it was true or false. But you know, this social media, they can do anything. They can merge A and B to present it to be different occasions. They can bring them together to pretend to be one incident. We are working on that because it's embarrassing to see a uniformed man, whether police or any other outfit, associating himself with a criminal.
Now, when you look at the rate of kidnapping in Lagos and Ogun State, almost at a daily basis, it seems schools are living in fear. We don't know who the next victim is. So what are you doing to arrest the situation?
Case of kidnapping is a crime that is going now. It's almost phasing out.
No, it's not.
It's phasing out. The only challenge we are having now is the riverine crimes that are disturbing us. Even that one, the measures we've taken has contained the situation.
You are saying that the situation is very minimal in terms of the rate of kidnapping. But the fact that you recently uncovered a kidnapping den in Lagos State, doesn't this indicate that this crime is deeply rooted in the states?
It's not deeply rooted. Kidnapping had its base in Abia State some time back. I was CP Abia and we were able to contain it when I was CP Abia too. And definitely it was separating to other parts of the country. If you talk of kidnapping, perhaps now, even now, from the stories, even from the media when you are talking, kidnapping is no longer in Lagos, but perhaps Abuja Kaduna Road in those days when the airport in Abuja was being repaired. But for now, kidnapping is generally coming down. The records of the statistics we are having in Zone 2 shows that kidnapping is drastically going down.
Let's weigh into your anti-kidnapping formation. How effective is the anti-kidnapping unit?
We are not relenting. The moment, you know, the moment we even see calmness, that's the time we have more challenges. When we see everywhere is quiet, that's the time we work tirelessly on our intelligence to see from which angle is another type of crime emerging, or from which angle is the non-crime coming up again. So that is to tell you, the moment we see calmness, we anticipate, we try to work and find out more. Where do we have some remnants of these criminals to flush them away?
Ogun State is strategically at a close proximity to Lagos State. And sometimes we've had reports that most of the crimes that they find inconducive to conduct in Lagos State, they take a base in the nearby outskirts of Ogun State. So what are you doing to launch a coordinated patrol to prevent crimes within these two zones?
Recently, we had an encounter with some militants on the high sea, and because we are coordinating between the two states, they have to cross Ogun before they come to Lagos, and we are coordinating, and that's why we were able to tame them. We control and tame them, and in fact, there were fatalities. The issue of going to the outskirts, even the Badu killings we are talking about, is, you know, in most of the times, they are found in some outskirts of Ikorodu, not within Ikorodu township. If you go to Ikorodu, ask the people of Ikorodu, you discover that most of these cases are in the outskirts. Some of them happen in isolated buildings. That's why we even plead with the Ministry of Education to please look at locations of some schools. There are some schools that are prone to some of these crimes. Isolated areas where some of them are located, or somebody will just go and erect a building alone in the bush, where even if something is to happen, nobody would know. And you know, we need to collaborate with the people before we get information. So we're working tirelessly, even with different arms, to ensure that there's general peace.
Now, you've consistently mentioned the creek in all your explanation now, and that seems to be a major crime hotspot. How equipped are your men in terms of creek operations?
No, there are potential threats, not that as you described them, but there are potential threats, and that's why we're working, and that's why I'm involved too, so that we cover both states, because most of the threats are coming from the axis of downstream, down south, and we are planning seriously, and we've been working tirelessly on that, and that's why we have the relative peace. You wouldn't know the attempts some of these criminals have been making to come to Lagos before our arrangement and our security structure on ground. They couldn't penetrate.
As a way of tackling crime now, there have been strong advocacy on community policing. Do you think this is the way to go?
You see, maybe you are only looking for the official pronouncement. We have been working with the communities all around. We've been working, partnering with the public, and that's what entails or what involves in community policing. Community policing is just partnering between the community and the security outfits, and we've been on that for a long time, and it has been paying. I must confess, it has been paying.
Now, this takes us to the issue of restructuring. One of the biggest debates on restructuring is state policing. Would you toe this line?
Well, state police, people who have been conversing for state police, that is a sensitive issue. I wouldn't want to delve much into it. But I will summarily say, like we have during the summit, you know, we had a lecture recently. During the lecture, it was all agreed that the country is not yet ripe. If you take the example of INEC, you can see the national INEC when there are elections, and you can see the state INEC in all the states of the country. That's just an example given during one of our lectures.
It's important we quickly talk about oil bunkering. Now, what are you doing to stem this tide?
You see, the oil bunkering, you know, is contained and tamed. That's why some of these militants are trying to engage in some other criminal activities. I can tell you, bunkering in Lagos axis, that is within Zone 2, is controlled, and that's why some of the militants are trying to involve in some of these kidnapping cases, although they won't have their way at all. We won't give them the breathing space.
Before we wind down this conversation, what are you doing to change the perception of the public about the police on issues bordering on corruption?
No, we have been working. You see, since the IG came into power, it has been a long process that we've been trying to see how best to contain corruption. The physical way the physical approach given in the first instance was, you can remember, the abolishment of roadblocks, where it was said to be a collection center. Police has been advocating and has stopped roadblocks. Not police roadblocks, I assure you. Not police roadblocks.
Checkpoints.
Well, checkpoints, you see, checkpoints are never permanent. They are never permanent, and as such, they are never roadblocks.
So how do we differentiate roadblock from checkpoints?
A roadblock, you know, when you talk about roadblock, is total blockade, when people cannot pass until they are given access. But checkpoints, you see, people are there observing. When they see situation or there is any need for them to stop any person moving, they will stop the person and then look for what they are looking for.
AIG Adamu Ibrahim, thank you so much for making our time to be part of this episode of Question Time. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome.
And that's it on this episode of Question Time. Is the Nigerian police winning the war against insecurity? Send us a comment on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. Join us next week for a fresh episode of the show on Channels Television. Many thanks for watching. I'm Benga Ashiru. Bye for now.